Hello, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. Hope you're out there having a great day, a great week so far. Anyway, today I want to talk about sports card influencers on YouTube, sports card breakers, overall eBay influencers, eBay sellers that have channels on YouTube as well, and a lot of turbulent times that are going on at eBay. And, in the last few, I'd say about a month and a half, I have seen numerous like full-time eBay sellers like shutting down. Like they're not doing it anymore. They're not keeping up their channel. They're not going to sell full-time on eBay anymore. And for sports cards, you don't get that sense as much. But I feel like for sports cards, maybe there's a little bit more of a reason to kind of sweep the truth under the rug, so to speak, about what's going on in the cards and collectibles market. Now, it's really important to think about how the cards and collectibles market works when it comes to the higher end products, being sports cards and comics. So, if you have people who are willing to slap stuff up at PSA, SGC, wherever for sports cards, they typically are always hunting down the raw cards on eBay. And it's like a chain. So if you have a lot of people who are grading with PSA and they're reselling and making a profit, it's almost like a feeding chain will continue to drive up the market. But what I have sensed, and others I know have sensed in this market lately, is the fact that, well, prices are going down. And the exact reason why prices are going down from the height of the pandemic, I just believe it has to do with this leveling off of the sports card market in general, and the recent oversaturation of the market with everything from just a few years ago, I mean, there was maybe just a handful of sports card breakers on YouTube. I mean, there really was. There weren't many sports card breakers on YouTube really at all. I mean, there were just a handful. Anymore, there are droves of sports card breakers on YouTube. And a lot of them, honestly, don't get great views. I mean, they're like my channel. I did a little break yesterday from just a $12.50 purchase that I spent at the card market when I was running errands. I hung out with the card shop owner for a little bit, BS'd, spent $12.50, got a good sense of what was selling at the sports card shop, and what's been selling there, and went, okay, well, let's go back and check out eBay. And it's always a different story on eBay, and it's always a different story on YouTube than, getting out there, getting on the ground. I think I had one view of my little, sports card thing. I don't even know if I'll bother breaking. I probably will, but it's getting so oversaturated. I think people, I get to see some cards. I wonder what was in that one or this one. But now that everyone's doing it, it's just like it's this constant oversaturation. And it's also there for the eBay resellers. They're quitting in droves. The full-time eBay reselling channels. A few years ago there was only a few. Now there are endless amounts of YouTube reselling channels, and a lot of them, I feel are a little bit more honest. The eBay reselling channels are than the sports card channels as far as sales go. Especially if they're full-time resellers, a lot of your sports card guys, they have a part-time job or full-time job, and it's all hunky-dory for them. If you are a full-time seller, boy, you really feel the jagged rocks of, the current market, for non-essential goods and items. Wow. Because that's really what eBay is it's a driver of non-essential goods and items. So anyway, let's check out just some. I'll just kind of scroll down, for sports card breaks. The important part of sports card breaks is being able to sell slabs, and earn a profit, and not deal with an oversaturated market. What the breakers do is they sell a dream. A lot of these people are wealthy. I have a sense that a lot of these people come from wealthier families. They don't struggle like anyone. Like for me, for instance. I life isn't easy for me. I have to be very careful about what I sell. And I'll be honest, I don't make a living selling cards. Yes, I have an LLC. That's a reselling LLC, yes. But as far as my profit-driven sales throughout the year doesn't typically come from eBay sales. It comes from my past experiences as a realtor and as a car salesman. Not card salesman, an automobile salesman, car, vehicle. And why is that? Well, for one reason, year in and year out, I can score a big sale on a car or a vehicle or possibly a small chunk of land over purchasing a sports card and crossing my fingers and hoping things work out well, which these sports card influencers do not want you to know. These eBay reselling channels do not want you to know about the reality of selling on the U.S. market. They just really don't. And the reality is you have to deal with the truth of what is truly valuable and what isn't. In comparison, is a 50-acre parcel of property worth more, than a sports card that's being sold at the same price? And I would say, well, from my experience, I went to real estate school. Yes, the parcel of property is worth more than the card. Not to be the villain, here, but that's just the reality of surviving. A lot of these breakers, they sell the dream, but even the dream is getting, well, there used to be a day when a lot of these autos were rare. And a lot of auto cards really aren't very rare anymore. I mean, like LeBron James autos. I'm always surprised what people are buying for LeBron James autos, even the rookie autos. Why? Because there's no shortage of them. I mean, it's been oversaturated. Even to see the sales on Jordan cards that I see, there are so many Michael Jordan cards out there. I mean, it just goes on and on. And honestly, you can't grow crops on a Michael Jordan card. You can't drive a Michael Jordan card. You can't really do the things you really have to do with the Michael Jordan card other than put in a drawer or, whatever you want to do with it and list it on Heritage, auction site or something, But remember, these guys are not being honest about how to really make money in this world. I had to go to real estate school. I had to sell cars at a dealership. I had to go to college. I had to go to a Votech. I mean, and honestly, that education has done me a better education than any sports card influencer will ever give me in my lifetime. Because let's face it, what is it about sports cards? Sports cards are a dream. It's the dream of you can invest a little bit of money and become wealthy. Isn't that the dream? But it doesn't work out that way. It just doesn't. I mean, that's just the reality. Is sports cards are sports cards. And, what I learned selling cars a lot and selling homes, with brokers is everything out there is a buyer. It's just a matter of finding the buyer. And hopefully the buyer can afford to buy the product, whatever it is. But that's where I want to move on to the next slide. Because what sports card influencers don't seem to really talk about, and collectibles, comic book influencers, yeah, they'll kind of show their true colors. Sales are down, this and that. It's, time to play the blues. But if you go to Terra Peak Research, let me find the slide here. And this is PSA slabs. And this is the past 3 years of PSA slabs. So I explained how it all works. Raw cards, feed the PSA, people who like to slab up the cards in the PSA slabs, it's like a food chain. And once the food chain, the people at the top aren't feeding the same way that they were, well, the people at the bottom really feel it. So people like me who typically would sell a lot of raw cards, year in and year out, boy, I've felt it this year. And I've questioned why. Why? Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the election. There's just a lot of, economic stress with the election coming up. But here we are. Let me find the October 25th, 2021. Here we are, kind of the end game area of the pandemic. Yeah, this year there's been more COVID hospitalizations than there ever has historically. But we are not in the pandemic, which means that people are acting differently. So, October 25th, 2021, here we are in the pandemic. Average sold price of PSA slabs was $150.52. All right. And then we go down. There's a little bump on January 24th, 2022 of $152.56 for average sold prices. But then it's a downhill slide. At the end of my videos, I always show a guy skiing downhill. I'm trying to, it's kind of like The Shining, the movie. I'm trying to give you messages. I don't know. But anyway, the summer of 2022, there was a bump. And let's face it, I felt there was a good bump because it's the end of the pandemic. People are feeling good about the market. We had a fairly good rookie class in 2022. But then it started to nosedive in the fall and the winter of 2023. And then we got another bump in the summertime. We got a bump last year. I felt it. I felt the sales, my raw card sales. I was selling slabs. I was feeling, this bump. But then my card sales, starting really in 2024, January 1st, 2024, average sold price of PSA slabs was $109.55. Now, stop and think about that. We can go a little bit lower at the end of 2023, December 11th, 2023. Average sold price, $108.13. We're back here in December 12th, 2022, $107.17. These are low points. And then look, October 7th, 2024. What do we have? $111.79 average sold price. It's gone up a little bit since then. October 21st, 24th, there's been obviously some good sales, $127.65. But we are not at that basically marker. See, look at the line. The line right there. Look how far we are. The $150 line is, you can see it. We are far from pandemic level here. And then here's the thing. We got a little bump in May of 2024, but we did not get our summer bump. We got our summer bump in 2022 for PSA card sales and card sales overall as an indicator. We got our sales, rise in 2023 in the summer, like we always seem to get. But we did not get a rise this year at all. So that is what's really tanking the market currently. And I think it has to do with a lot of oversaturation, a lot of people overgrading slabs, more sellers, more buyers, more card enthusiasts entering the market, whatever, or exiting the market for one reason. And, the market is, it's a food chain. If you have a lot of people grading, putting the stuff in PSA slabs, a lot of them are always hunting down raw cards on eBay, whatever, more so than just standard fans and collectors. And once that goes downhill, like we've seen, guess what? We are a long ways off from where we should be, which was the pandemic, November 8th, 2021. So I like to use the PSA slab, just PSA all categories slab. Terapeak research on eBay to really show what is going on with the sports card market, and the card market in general. Now, the other indicator that I use is just another broad search, 3-year search on Terapeak research of just CGC. This is CGC slabs mainly. Look at that. So if you look at the cards and collectibles market in general, collectibles, I like to look more in the comic side for collectibles, yeah, there's some other collectibles out there as well. I mean, Smurfs. I mean, I'm not going to pull up Smurfs. I mean, Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels might actually be a good indicator for the collectible side, believe it or not. Anyway, but I'm not going to pull them up. Here we see October 25th, 2021. This is the end of the pandemic. $219.54. And here we have a little bump for these CGC comic slabs, if I can get there. It won't let me get there for one reason. There we are. December 27th, 2021, $227.24. That's the highest it's been in the last 3 years. Now look at the leveling off here. It's just been downhill skiing. It really has. And what gets me about the CGC market is it is ugly the way it's gone downhill. I mean, here we are at a height of, 227, 2024. There hasn't really been those bumps in the summertime. And right now we're at 151.35 for average sold price October 21, 2024. Today they have it marked at 160.55, for the sales because we're, October 24th, 2024. But nonetheless, this is the cards and comic market. This is your best indicator of what is going on. This is your best indicator of when you get your PSA slabbed up and you put that big price on it and you're not getting it and what's going on here. That's why. The market's gone down. Average sold price has just tanked since the pandemic, since 2021. We have been downhill skiing since then. I can't candy coat it. I mean, you can just see it. So when it comes to this market, when it comes to all the down and out influencers, crying about eBay, the sports card market, just kind of pretending that here we are still in the pandemic, even though there's like 1 million breakers on YouTube now. Those average PSA slabs have gone downhill in the last 3 years. Those average, CGC sales have gone just really, here we are. I like to show this. We are downhill skiing, people. That's the message, That's the subliminal message I've been kind of trying to show you. Is we're all downhill skiing right now in this market. And I don't think oversaturating it's going to save it. Let's face it. You want to save the market, maybe what I thought about is stop grading. Stop grading so many slabs. Allow some of these slabs to go up in value. That would help. 2, we're no longer in the pandemic. And 3, non-essential goods are not as important to people that they once were, like, just out of the pandemic, because they don't have as much money as they used to, because they're getting sapped by, purchasing essential goods, So that's something to think about. Anyway, when it comes to sports card influencers, eBay influencers, the eBay influencers definitely show their true emotions more than the sports card influencers as far as sales goes. For one reason, I'm not seeing, those that information that we just went over with from a lot of sports card influencers. I mean, whenever you watch a sports card influencer, especially the breakers, they do a good job of It's a party. We're having a party. This is a great day. Things are working out. But then you begin to look at, well, what really is happening here? What happened to my card sales? What happened to this guy's card sales? What is going on in the full market? Well, I just literally showed you what has happened. So hopefully it'll come back. I just don't know when. But I know that using just the Terapeak Research PSA, all categories for the past 3 years of the CGC are really the best indicators of our market. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode. Hope you tune in again. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.